My wife texted while I was in a meeting. I'm moving out. Again? This time it's permanent. Don't call me. I replied, okay. She expected begging. When she came home 6 hours later and found all her stuff already packed, labeled, and stacked by the door with a locksmith receipt, I, 36 male, got the text at 2:14 p.m. on a Wednesday. Right in the middle of a quarterly budget review with my entire department watching me present spreadsheets. My phone buzzed on the table. Glanced down. My wife, the message. I'm moving out. Again. This time it's permanent. Don't call me. I'll pick up my things when I'm ready. I stared at it for maybe 3 seconds while my colleague asked about projected expenses. Then I typed back one word. Okay. Put my phone face down and continued my presentation. Here's what you need to understand. This wasn't the first time. It wasn't even the 5th time. In 7 years of marriage, my wife had permanently left me at least a dozen times. The pattern was always the same. We'd have a disagreement, usually about something mundane like me working late or not being enthusiastic enough about her mother's suggestions for our life, and she'd escalate it into a nuclear meltdown. Then came the dramatic exit announcement, the packed overnight bag, the door slam. Then, nothing. She'd go to her sister's place or her mother's house and wait for me to call, to text, to show up with flowers, apologies, and promises to do better. And every single time, I did exactly that. Because I loved her. Because I believed marriage meant fighting for it. Because her family convinced me I wasn't trying hard enough. Not this time. Something broke in me during that meeting. Maybe it was the casual cruelty of the timing. She knew I had that presentation. Maybe it was the word again in her own text, acknowledging this was a pattern she weaponized. Maybe I was just done being emotionally held hostage. My meeting ended at 3:30 p.m. I told my boss I had a family emergency and needed to leave early. He didn't ask questions. Drove home. The apartment was empty, as expected. She'd taken her overnight bag, the nice one I bought her for our anniversary trip that never happened, because she wasn't feeling it that weekend. I stood in the living room and made a decision. If this was permanent, I'd make it permanent. Called a locksmith. Emergency rekey, residential apartment. Can you come within 2 hours? He could. $275 for rush service. Worth it. Then I started packing. Not my stuff. Hers. I was methodical about it. Went through the closet first. Her clothes on her side, folded neatly into the suitcases we kept in storage. Her shoes in labeled garbage bags. Her jewelry in a small box, nothing valuable enough to worry about, mostly costume stuff and gifts from her family. Bathroom next, her makeup, skincare, hair products, all in boxes, her towels, her robe. The bedroom, her books, her phone chargers, she had like 4, her laptop, her collection of decorative pillows I was never allowed to actually use. Kitchen, her specialty coffee maker that I wasn't allowed to touch. Her weird health powders, her specific brand of oat milk. I was surprisingly calm. Moving with purpose. Each item I packed felt like removing a splinter. The locksmith arrived at 5:45 p.m. Nice guy, didn't ask questions. New deadbolt, new knob lock, new keys. Left the receipt on top of the stack of boxes by the door. By 6:30 p.m., everything she owned was packed, labeled, and stacked neatly in the entryway. 14 boxes, 3 suitcases, 4 garbage bags of shoes and misc items. Her yoga mat rolled up and propped against the wall. Then I ordered Thai food and sat on my couch, the couch I'd picked out but she'd complained about for 2 years, and watched a movie I'd wanted to see for months but couldn't because she found action movies juvenile. My phone had 0 notifications from her. That was intentional on her part. She was waiting for me to break first, to flood her phone with apologies, to beg. At 8:47 p.m., I heard keys in the lock. Scratching. Confusion. Then knocking. Babe, the door won't open. Is the lock broken? I walked over and opened it. She was standing there with her overnight bag, looking annoyed but also expectant, like she was waiting for the tearful reunion. Her expression changed when she saw the wall of boxes behind me. What is this? Your stuff, I said. You said it was permanent. I helped make it permanent. She pushed past me, staring at the labeled boxes. Clothes, casual, bathroom skincare, books and misc. You can't be serious. You texted me during my presentation, the one I've been preparing for 3 weeks. You said it was permanent. You said don't call. I didn't call. I packed. I was upset. We had a fight this morning about your mother. My mother sent you a birthday card with a check for $50, and you called her cheap. Because it is cheap. We've been married 7 years. And you told me I needed to handle her. Then when I said my mother's gift was fine and I wasn't going to start a fight over $50, you decided our marriage was over. She opened one of the boxes, saw her sweaters, started to look genuinely panicked. I didn't mean, you know I get emotional, you always come get me, that's how this works. No, that's how it worked. Past tense. So what, you're just done, after 7 years? I felt exhausted just looking at her. You've threatened to leave me more times than I can count. Every time I don't perform exactly how you want, you run to your sisters and wait for me to grovel. I'm tired. I'm done groveling. You changed the locks? Are you insane? This is my apartment too. Lease is in my name only. Has been since the beginning because your credit was too low when we moved in. Yeah, I'd checked on that before calling the locksmith. She went quiet. Then? You planned this. No, I responded to your text, finally. Her face cycled through emotions, shock, anger, tears starting to form. The tears usually worked. I don't have anywhere to go. You said you were moving out. That implies you had somewhere in mind. I was going to my sister's, but I was coming back. I always come back. And I always take you back. Not this time. She grabbed my arm. Please. I'm sorry. I was angry. You know how I get. Yeah, I do. That's the problem. We can go to counseling. I'll change. You've said that before. After the incident at my company holiday party. After you threw my phone during the argument about the vacation. After you screamed at my best friend's wife for suggesting we get separate checks at dinner. I pulled my arm back gently. The cycle is exhausting, and I'm done. So that's it? You're throwing away our marriage because I sent one text? You sent hundreds of texts like that over 7 years. This is just the first time I believed you. She stood there, tears streaming now, looking at the boxes. Her whole life with me, reduced to labeled containers. I don't have anywhere. Call your sister, call your mom, you have options, just not here. She grabbed 2 suitcases, struggling with the weight, and left without another word. Didn't take the boxes. I expected she'd be back for those. That night, I slept better than I had in months. Update 1. 4 days later. The initial confrontation was just the appetizer. The entitlement buffet came later. Day 2, her sister showed up. I was leaving for work when I found her pounding on my door at 7:30 a.m. What did you do to her? Good morning to you too. She's been crying for 2 days. She can't eat. You just threw her out like garbage. She texted me saying the marriage was over. I took her at her word. Her sister's face was pure contempt. She was venting. Everyone vents. You don't actually end things because someone says mean stuff when they're upset. How many times has she pulled this, exactly? The leaving, the waiting for me to apologize, the coming back like nothing happened? That's just how she processes things. You know she had a difficult childhood. And I've spent 7 years tiptoeing around it. I'm done. You're a coward. A real man would fight for his marriage. A real man stops when he realizes he's the only one fighting. She stormed off. 20 minutes later, my phone started blowing up. Texts from numbers I didn't recognize. Her family, apparently. The messages ranged from, how could you, to you'll regret this, to one creative one that just said, small d energy. I blocked them all. At work, I got a call from reception. Someone was here to see me. I went down and found her mother in the lobby, clutching tissues, looking like I'd murdered her firstborn. She told me everything, how you threw her things in trash bags, labeled garbage bags. For shoes, everything else was in boxes. How you changed the locks without warning. She told me the marriage was over. The locks are for my security. She's my baby. She's fragile. You know she needs extra care. With respect, she's 34 years old, and she uses that fragility to control everyone around her, including me, for 7 years. Her mother's eyes went cold. You're going to regret this. She's going to take you for everything in the divorce. Noted. Please leave. Security escorted her out when she refused to go. My HR got involved, had to explain the basics of the situation. They were understanding, told me to document any further workplace visits. That evening, I came home to find 3 voicemails from a number I didn't recognize. Her cousin, apparently calling me a manipulative narcissist who finally showed his true colors. The narrative they were building was clear. I was the villain. The man who coldly discarded his emotional, sensitive wife because she dared to express her feelings. They conveniently left out the dozen previous times she'd permanently left. The constant threats, the tantrums when I didn't comply with whatever demand she had that week. Day 3 brought a new development. I got an email from a lawyer. Not her lawyer, apparently she couldn't afford one, but a family friend who was an attorney and was concerned about the treatment of a vulnerable woman. The email demanded I immediately return all her property, including items I'd illegally retained, and warned that any attempt to dispose of her belongings would result in criminal charges. My buddy from college is actually a divorce attorney. Forwarded him the email. His response: "This is hilarious. They have no case. She's not on the lease, you packed her stuff carefully, and you didn't dispose of anything. They're trying to scare you." He helped me draft a response. Polite, professional. Stated that all her belongings were available for pickup at a mutually agreed upon time, that I had disposed of nothing, and that future communication should go through proper legal channels. Day 4, she showed up. Not alone. She brought her mother, her sister, and some guy I didn't recognize. Tall, muscular, clearly there for intimidation. I opened the door but kept the chain on. "Who's the dude?" "My cousin. He's here to make sure you don't try anything." "Try what?" "I'm 5'10" and I work in accounting." The cousin stepped forward. "Just give her her stuff, man. Don't make this harder than it needs to be." "Her stuff is right there." I pointed to the boxes still stacked in the entryway. "I'll open the door. You can take it, but nobody's coming past the entryway. This is her home. It's my apartment. Her name is on nothing. The lease, the utilities, the deposit, all mine. Want to verify? I have paperwork." Her mother started crying. 7 years she gave you. 7 years. She gave me 7 years of threats, manipulation, and walking out every time I didn't perfectly comply. We're done. They spent 45 minutes loading boxes into 2 cars. The cousin dropped one of the boxes on purpose. I heard glass break. Her skincare bottles, probably. I said nothing. When they finished, her mother turned back. "You'll be alone forever. No one will ever love you like she did." "That's kind of the goal, yeah." The door closed. I changed the chain lock for good measure. That night, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. "I know you think you're being strong, but you're just being cruel. I gave you everything. You owe me." I didn't respond. Blocked. This was far from over. But for the first time in 7 years, I felt like I was in control. Update 2. 2 weeks later. Thought the box pickup would be the end of it. I was wrong. First, the apartment building. Apparently her mother called the management company claiming I'd illegally evicted my wife. The property manager called me, confused. "Your wife? She's not on the lease. Never was. Her name is on nothing." He checked. Confirmed. Apologized for the confusion. Then she filed for divorce, finally making the permanent official, and that's when the real game started. Her initial filing was ambitious. She claimed 1. Emotional and psychological abuse throughout the marriage. 2. Financial abuse, apparently me paying for 70% of our expenses while she contributed emotionally was abuse. 3. Entitlement to 50% of my 401k. 4. Spousal support because she'd sacrificed her career for the marriage. 5. Half the value of furniture I'd purchased before we got married. My attorney just sighed when he read it. Standard opening move. Throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. Most of this won't fly, but it'll cost time and money to fight. Turned out her sacrificed career was leaving her part-time retail job 3 years into our marriage because she found it unfulfilling. She'd worked sporadically since then, mostly freelance social media stuff that earned maybe $6,000 a year. Meanwhile, I'd been promoted twice and was now making decent money she apparently felt entitled to. The discovery phase got ugly. Her attorney requested all my financial records, which was normal. But then they also requested records of any gifts I'd given her during the marriage to prove the lifestyle she was accustomed to. Proof of my controlling behavior. They literally just asked for this, no specifics. Documentation of my refusal to attend marriage counseling. That last one was rich. I'd suggested counseling multiple times. She refused because she didn't want some stranger judging our relationship. I provided what was legally required. Nothing more. 2 weeks after the filing, I got a call from my brother. He sounded uncomfortable. So, your ex called me. She what? Asked if I'd testify that you were emotionally unavailable during family gatherings. Said something about building a pattern of behavior. I was stunned. What did you say? Told her to lose my number. But heads up, she's apparently calling everyone who knows you, trying to build a case. She called my coworker too, the one whose wife she'd screamed at over dinner checks. Asked if they'd noticed any concerning behavior from me over the years. They declined to participate. The desperation was palpable. Her next move was creative. She contacted my company's HR department directly, asking for records of any workplace complaints filed against me. HR told her they couldn't share employee information with random callers. She apparently responded that she was compiling evidence of my pattern of misconduct. My HR rep gave me a heads up. I documented it. My attorney added it to the file. Then came the mediation session. State required it before the divorce could proceed. We sat in a conference room with our attorneys and a neutral mediator. She wouldn't look at me. The mediator opened with standard questions. Living situation, asset overview, points of contention. Her attorney spoke first. My client sacrificed her professional development to support this marriage. She deserves long-term spousal support, reflecting the lifestyle established during the marriage. My attorney countered. Your client worked part-time by choice, was never the primary earner, and regularly threatened divorce as a negotiation tactic. We have text records. She finally looked at me. You're using my emotions against me? The mediator intervened. Let's stay focused. What specific assets are in dispute? This went on for 3 hours. Every piece of furniture was contested. Every appliance. The coffee maker she gifted me for Christmas, that she'd bought with money I gave her for shopping. In the end, the mediator made recommendations. No long-term spousal support. Her lack of employment was by choice. My 401k from before the marriage was protected. She'd get a portion of contributions during the marriage, maybe 15%. Furniture would be valued and split. Most of it was mine pre-marriage, documented with receipts. She left the mediation in tears. Her mother was waiting in the lobby and immediately started screaming at me about destroying her daughter's future. Security asked them to leave. That night, I got another text from an unknown number. You win. Happy now? I have nothing. You took everything. I didn't respond, but I didn't block it either. I screenshot it and sent it to my attorney. Evidence of continued contact. He filed a motion for a communication order. All contact through attorneys only. The final divorce decree came through a month later. She got less than she demanded, more than I wanted to give. About $8,000 from my 401k. 3 months of transitional support at $600 a month. A few pieces of furniture. But she got something else too. The reality that permanent actually meant permanent this time. Final update, 3 months later. The divorce was finalized 2 months ago. Thought that would be the end of it. Mostly it was. She violated the communication order twice. First time was a drunk text at 2 a.m. Remember our anniversary trip we never took? I was going to tell you I was pregnant, but then you had to be you and ruin everything. My attorney confirmed there was no pregnancy during our marriage, either a lie or a manipulation attempt, both tracks with her pattern. Second violation was showing up at a coffee shop she knew I frequented. Sat at the table next to mine, staring, didn't say anything, just stared. I packed up my laptop and left, documented it. My attorney sent a warning letter. After that, nothing. Silence. Heard updates through the grapevine, though. Mutual friends who weren't sure whose side to take kept me loosely informed. Apparently, she moved back in with her mother. The sister got tired of the drama after 2 months. Go figure. She's working part-time at a boutique now, complaining constantly about having to start over because of me. Her mother tells anyone who'll listen that I financially devastated her daughter, conveniently leaving out that I paid for most of our married life while she found herself. The cousin who dropped her box on purpose? Apparently, he bragged about it at a family gathering, saying he should have done more. Her own family, not exactly model citizens. Her mother tried one last play about a month ago. She sent a letter, actual paper letter, to my apartment. The envelope was perfumed and had a heart sticker on it. Inside was a handwritten note. She's still willing to work things out. True love means forgiveness. You're punishing her for normal relationship struggles. Please consider reconciliation counseling. She's a changed woman. I didn't respond, threw the letter away. As for me, I'm okay. Not great. The apartment feels different. Bigger, somehow. Empty in some spots where her stuff used to be, but also cleaner, calmer. No eggshells to walk on, no anticipating the next explosive fight over nothing. I deleted our wedding photos from my phone, took down the framed one in the living room, put it in a box in the closet. Can't quite throw it away yet. Maybe someday. Started seeing a therapist. Not because I'm broken, well, maybe a little, but because I spent 7 years accepting treatment that no one should accept. I need to understand why. What made me tolerate it for so long? What made me keep going back every time she left? The therapist says I have codependency issues rooted in wanting to fix people. Working on it. My friends have been solid. The ones who knew her saw through her pretty quickly once the divorce started. The ones who didn't know her well believed her story for a while but eventually came around when they heard the details. No new relationship on the horizon. Not looking. Need to figure myself out first. The financial hit hurt, but I'm recovering. The $8,000 from the 401k stings. The $1,800 in transitional support stings. The legal fees, almost $6,000, definitely sting. But the peace? That's priceless. No more waiting for the next explosion. No more apologizing for existing wrong. No more being punished for not reading her mind. Last week I ran into her sister at a grocery store. She saw me, looked like she wanted to say something, then just turned and walked away. Probably for the best. The only thing I regret is not doing this sooner. All those years of fighting for my marriage, when really I was just enabling her to treat me like garbage without consequences. One text changed everything. Not hers, mine. That one word, okay. For 7 years I said, please don't go. I'll do better. What can I change? One okay was all it took to end the cycle. She expected begging, she got boxes by the door, and honestly, that's the most satisfying thing I've ever done. To anyone in a similar situation, trust yourself. When someone shows you who they are through repeated behavior, believe them. And when they threaten to leave for the 100th time, sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is hold the door open. Anyway, that's my story. Time to close this chapter and figure out what comes next. P.S. The locksmith receipt I left on the boxes, she apparently kept it. Her mother mentioned it in her letter, saying it was evidence of premeditation. My attorney laughed. It's a receipt for a lock change, not exactly a smoking gun. Cool? Cool.